so what I wanted to talk to you today about was gluing down your eyebrows, and kind of the vice versa with a product that I've been using for a little while now. It's by Ben Nye. It's prosthetic adhesive. It is the sister to Prozaid, which I do not have, but this has worked out pretty good. I got to buy it locally here in Huntsville from a costume and makeup supplier. And then I wanted to talk to you a little bit about our old friend here, purple washable school glue. And I was using it for a while and I like it. There's nothing wrong with using the school glue. It glues down the eyebrow pretty well. The only thing is, here in the South, it gets very humid when it gets hot. And that stuff likes to run and not stay in place. So the answer to that was the prosthetic adhesive by Ben Nye. I really like it, so we're going to kind of go through what we do with it, because some of you probably don't know about this one. And here we go. So it's pretty basic. You just put it on the brow. I like to just rub it in there and get it in there, covering all the hair. Just dab it in. It's very liquidy. It's not sticky at first, but be careful, because once it starts to get tacky, you have to remove this with oil of some sort. I like to use baby oil. This first coat is not going to completely get rid of the brow. I just get it in there so that I can smooth it out. I've seen some tutorials from Raven, and I think she is an amazing makeup artist. She likes to use the brush, well, so do I, to smooth it out and to lay it down. And before it starts getting tacky, I just like to remove some of that from underneath. I don't have really thick eyebrows, so I don't have a lot of area to cover, so just get rid of some of the excess before it gets tacky. And then just use my eyebrow brush to keep smoothing it out until it starts getting a little tacky. Okay, now let's just do the other one while we're at it. Again, just back and forth, get it under the hair, over the hair, under there, underwear. Just all over. Mushing it in. Gunka it up, girl. Some people like to brush their eyebrows in the direction they grow. Some people like to do it up. I prefer sort of to do it right in the middle, just in the natural growth pattern of my eyebrow. Again, removing some excess. Like I always say in my videos, don't message me and say, oh, it didn't work for me, because this works for me, and this is what I do. You're welcome to try. You're welcome to join me. But if you have another way of doing it, that's great. Message me and let me know. Maybe you'll teach me something. Because God knows, in this journey of drag, we never finish learning. And if you feel like you've learned everything, you probably need to quit, because you're at the end of your road. But for me personally, I like to learn new things constantly. I like to try new things. Yeah, see, there we go. She's getting good and tacky now, where it's pulling the skin. That's where we want to be. That way we know that it's laying those brows down. Okay, pulled nice and flat. They're sticky. I like to use my Ben Nye Pretty in Pink powder to powder over it. Get quite a bit of powder on that puff so that you don't get your puff tacky. And then just press. Just making a barrier between that tacky adhesive and the powder. Okay. That helps it dry in between layers. I like to do 2 layers. You might like to do 1, or you might like to do 3. Whatever you prefer. Just brush off the excess powder. And then apply another layer. This time going only in the direction that I have put my brows down. I have a spot in my eyebrows that's a little divot, so I've kind of learned if I fill it in, maybe it'll disguise that a little bit. I mean, God forbid we have any imperfections. We will get red the house down. You might miss out on that $1 tip, girl. But that $1 tip does buy me cheese on that McDouble. Another piece of cheese. So I ain't complaining about no tips. Anyway, just gluing in the direction of the hair growth. For me personally, trying to hide all my imperfections in my eyebrows. If you can see that little dent right there, as Gaga says, I was born this way. I should come up with a cool story about how I had an eyebrow ring whenever I was 20. But I didn't. Alright. So again, you take your brush and just smooth it over the brow. It'll get tacky. This layer I'm not pressing because I just want it to smooth. Happy little trees. Gone. And you can go back and clean up the edges here with a little bit of baby oil, makeup remover, something. I just sort of use my finger to smooth it out. Of course, you have to imagine the reason we're covering our brows is so that our eyebrows can go higher. So basically where I have that little residue left over, when we clean that up, our eyebrow will go on top of it. So you're not going to see any lines of demarcation or anything like that. So again, with the powder pressing firmly, with plenty of powder. And this is not something I would recommend doing the night of the show. To learn, sit down in your spare time and practice your art, because it's an art, and art looks better when you practice. Okay, so they're laid down pretty good. I've seen a few odds and end tricks with a spoon. I think that's to help press them down closer to your skin. It's alright, I'll try it, I've done it. I'm not gonna do it every time, it's just an extra step for me. But it may work wonderful for you. Alright. It's gonna get loud for a minute because I'm gonna use this hair dryer just to make sure they're dry so I can cover one with some makeup so you'll be able to see what they look like when they're gone. And just for old time's sake, we're going to use a little bit of that washable school glue just to make it real smooth. And like I say, none of this is anything that I've come up with. In fact, you can watch other people's videos and learn a lot from other people. I owe a lot to Raven, because she is the one I saw using the Prozaid. And I thought, well, it works good for her caterpillars. It might work on my little nubs. I'm pretty liberal with this stuff. But just remember, we're not using this to actually cover the brow. We're using this just to get that smooth top layer. And you can use water. I'll use my finger and my tongue to get a little bit of moisture to smooth it out. It's my face. It's okay. Alright, well, let's try that. Typically, I like mine to dry a little longer before I start to apply anything on top of it, but for the sake of you guys, here we go. We'll do another video on foundation. I just happen to use Krylon TV paint stick. It's the best I found. So we're gonna cover this one so you guys can see the finished result. Not painting the rest of my face just yet, so we're only gonna do the eyebrow area. But if you'll come with me on this imaginary journey of my face being pretty well done, and then powder. And then more powder. I mean, she's gone. She's good. It's not perfect, but I'm not willing to shave my brows off and walk around like an alien, like I used to do. But once you get that foundation over your entire face, and then you draw your brows right above there is where I draw mine, I mean, it does the trick. So I hope that helped you out a little bit. I know that watching other people do stuff sometimes is an amazing way to learn, so I hope that it helped you learn something today. Alright y'all, it's time to like, comment, and subscribe. Links below. And once more, if you don't like it, that's not my problem.